Hello everybody out there, this is Messenger. This is one of the ASL Mini games. Let me go ahead and pull up the player list. It's XiaOzi and Pro. This is the round of 8. Again, I want to thank everyone for participating, whoever participated in this ladder / tournament. There was a total of around 111 players, I think, that participated. Half of ASL Season 1 number, so I'm quite impressed. That's a lot of people playing. XiaOzi is up in the top 1 o'clock position. He is a Zerg player from Canada, I believe. And Pro is down at the 5 o'clock position as Protoss. I actually already saw this game before, earlier today. They played sometime in the morning, and I got the replay around the afternoon, Central Standard Time, and I was particularly fond of this game. It's you'll see in a minute. It's one of the better ones. People have been asking for the replay packs, and I don't think it'll take that long to release it. So what I'm doing as I get the replays is I'm organizing it beforehand so that I can just release it when the finals are done, or immediately after the finals are done. And so if we look at XiaOzi up here, we see that he's putting a pull down, doing the Overlord 9 pool 10 or 11, I guess. And let's look at what Pro is doing. If we look over here, Pro is putting 2 gateways down at his expansion. The map, I'm going to go ahead and reveal it for you guys, because I don't know if I necessarily said it. It's Return of the King. I chose this map because, obviously because of the name, and it's a legitimate map that they play, the professional pro gamers play on, and I just like the name of the thing because ASL Mini Season 2 is coming back, and so we see that Pro is setting up for an early rush, and we look at XiaOzi over here. He's somewhat, prepared for it. The pool, it's not too late, and but this is a very a little bit. I almost want to say a little bit of an all-in kind of build for Pro. If this doesn't turn out well, he's going to be behind by quite a bit. This is not the standard build. This isn't the Visu build. This isn't a one base strong push build. This is like, I hope I catch him off guard, and hope XiaOzi puts up a pull after his first expansion, and that's not the case. And so we see Pro retreating his Zealot because he knows some Zerglings are coming. And right now, I'm pretty sure XiaOzi, I hadn't been paying attention, maybe he scouted Pro earlier with a drone or something, but I'm pretty sure XiaOzi has no idea this is actually coming. And, this is a fairly strong kind of push if the hatchery was the one that was put down first, not the pool. And so this is going to be quite uncomfortable for XiaOzi in a minute because his Zerglings are out of position. They're over at the 9 o'clock position, and XiaOzi is going to, you can just eye it real quick. The rate at which the health of the hatchery is going down is just too quick. He's going to lose that hatchery. So XiaOzi knows he has to do something, and this is what he does. He puts up an expansion up here at the, well, never mind, it was there. I guess he desperately needed the resources, and so we see XiaOzi sending his drones over here. I guess canceling that hatchery just a moment ago in order to put up these 2 Sunkens to fend this off. And I'm gonna show you some technical skills or mechanics, I guess you can call it. This just comes from a lot of experience of playing. XiaOzi's one of the older players, and so he has a lot of experience with StarCraft. And so in a moment I'm going to show you something I was quite impressed with. I've been playing for 10 years, and I don't have this kind of practiced skill. This just takes a while to do because I'm not a Zerg player, I'm a Protoss player. And so when I see a Zerg player do something that requires high degree of technical skills, it's just very impressive to me because StarCraft is such a complex game, more complicated than chess in some regards. And And so I still get surprised by some of players' abilities. We see ZiaOzi doing excellent harassment here, making it so that the saturation of the mineral field is not maxed out, and just keeping these Zerglings alive, keeping them dancing around, microing them, keeping them alive, it's an irritant, definitely for sure if you're a Protoss player, because you want to protect your worker field, but at the same time, this is the risky build that or placement, building placement that Pro opted for, and so now he's suffering because of it, because he can't necessarily defend everything at once. He could, somewhat to some degree, because he has quite a bit of zealots, he could have separated out the forces. But and this is okay. We're gonna go over to the 7 o'clock position. We see ZiaOzi putting up a expansion at the 7 o'clock position. This is purely a psychological thing. If you have a drone out there and you're going to put down a hatchery that you want your opponent to not find, you're going to put it next to, adjacent to his base, because what Protoss players do, or most normal players do, is they'll scout the far. It's all a head game. Pro is if he wants to look for whether there's a possible expansion somewhere, he's going to look up at the 11 o'clock position or some base that's farthest away from, some natural that's farthest away from his base, because he's thinking, okay, my opponent's wanting to put his hatchery somewhere far and safe away, but he's putting it like adjacent to Pro's base, and so this is what if you ever watch any of Lee Jae-dong's game. Jae-dong especially loves to do that when he's playing against Terran. He'll put his hatchery just extraordinarily close to his opponent's base, and it works. All the other pro gamers he plays against, they always scout far away, but they never just look next to their base and they'd see there's a freaking hatchery or expansion there fully functioning. And so this is the technical thing I was talking about. One moment, he'll do it in a second. This just I can do this with Protoss, but I can't do this with Zerg. It just takes Zerg units are, to me, a lot more frail than Protoss units, and so you definitely need the technical timing skills down in order to do this. Okay, most players would immediately drag their drones over to protect their Sunkens, but that's not what ZiaOzi does. He times it just right, so he'll move it over when he has to, because earlier he wants to keep his drones continuously digging resources, and so at the point where he's sure he's safe, he's gonna send these guys back. I'm sure he's shifting using the shift button to queue up his actions, and so he doesn't mind losing this one sunken, but he times it just right just to keep his drones on the mineral field as long as possible, and it's just the little things that these B players do, B A minus players do that I'm quite impressed by, and so this is just somewhat of a bad placement by Pro. The thing is, it's not bad placement if it were meant for Hydras. If there was a group of Hydras coming, you'd want to protect your gateways by placing your cannons like so. But it so happens that ZiaOzi went with Mutas, and so they're just out of reach. And so we see Pro trying to throw up cannons, but the bounce of the Muta attack just kind of is taking out these cannons and getting free 150 minerals from Pro, or pulling ahead by 150 minerals every time he loses this. So that was like his second or third one. I don't think he necessarily canceled in time, and he has to put this up because he's hoping this warps in time. So we see Pro lose. This is a major blow, losing that Nexus right there. And we're going to go to the 7 o'clock position. We see that ZiaOzi base over here is fully functioning. It's humming along nicely. The worker field isn't quite exactly fully saturated, maybe one or two more. Zerg players like to do a 1-to-1 ratio with their workers and mineral field. If they're playing an expansive game, but if it's like a strong push, they'll oversaturate. They'll do some number greater than 1-to-1 ratio in order to saturate their mineral field more. Like up here, this is This is somewhat oversaturated. If you look at the pro gamer